All right, guys, so in this video, I'm gonna go over what actually is making me 30K at 19 years old, right? And now the reason you should probably listen to me is because I'm only 19, making 30K a month online, traveling the world, really doing whatever I want, whenever I want. But before I go any farther, just subscribe, press the subscribe button, because if you don't, it could be very bad if you don't listen to these videos in the future, because you might just lose out on a lot of value, a lot of money. So yeah, make sure you just hit that subscribe button. Now, anyways, what is SMMA, right? So SMMA, right? It's a social media marketing agency. Now, you've probably heard this before, maybe some people haven't, but essentially what you do here is you're really just marketing. You basically pick a niche, right? And in that niche, you market them, right? Market their product or their service, right? To get customers for them, and then in turn bring them revenue and money, right? Then they're gonna probably pay you more if you bring them a lot of money and bring them a lot of business. So essentially, social media marketing agency is you just sell that, right? You just sell a service, a product, and then you're gonna get paid for that in return, right? Now, what you wanna do is you wanna pick a right vehicle. And what I mean by that is pick a niche that in the market is not saturated, and also that is not just like overturned, right? Because there's some niches out there that are just really impossible to scale, right? And there is some niches out there that are very, very easy to scale. And it just depends on what vehicle you're in and then what actually strategy you are using, right? Basically, the four main points in a social media marketing agency that is actually going to make it scale and run very, very well, hitting 30K months and even way farther than that, even 100K plus months, is having an acquisition system. So meaning, right, how are you getting your sales calls, right? What is a sales call? A sales call is you take a call, right, with the customer. Let's just say it was a chiropractor, for instance, and sell them on your marketing service. So you have to have a system in place to get you these meetings, first of all. Then once you have these meetings, then you have to sell, right? You have to sell them the product or service, right? And then they pay you for it. Then after the sales call, you have to deliver your service, right? And then once you deliver your service, then in turn for that, if you do good, you're either going to sell this person onto, a longer contract, right? Longer term, or you're going to get a testimonial from this person, right, to use to help you sell more, right? Now, if this person gives you a testimonial, they're probably going to go on a longer contract regardless. But those are basically the main 4 points, right? Acquisition, your sales system, right? And then actually delivering the service, right? Having a very good service delivery. And then getting, a testimonial from your client, or even going farther into, selling them on just, a longer package or whatever it is. So what you guys want to do is you want to make sure that you are charging high. Now, the reason is because if you're charging low or you're doing free trials, it doesn't work, right? I've done that and it's a waste of time. You're end up going to be wasting a lot of time, a lot of money, right? Don't be charging anything less than $1,000 per month, right? That's completely ridiculous if you're charging anything less than that, right? You need to be charging at least $1,000 or $1,500, $2K a month, right? And also, this is going to be very, very dependent on your niche too. The reason is this is going to be very dependent on your niche, right? Because based off your niche, their ticket of sale might be higher, right? So let's say you have a roofer, for instance, right? Their average roof revenue they're taking is 10K around. Let's just say that's average, right? But for a chiropractor, their average customer is going to be a lot lower lifetime value, right? It might just be one to two grand, right? Now that's kind of where you have to change up your pricing, right? Because for a chiropractor, you might need to charge a bit lower, but if for a roofer, you could charge a bit higher, right? So it kind of just depends on the niche you're at, but you also have to charge a high price, right? If you're not charging high ticket, or if you're scared to, you don't have confidence, right? Then you're probably not going to sell it and you're not going to make any money. You're going to be signing 10 clients at $500 a client. And if you do that, really only $5,000, which is like nothing. You could easily charge a client one guy alone for $5,000 for like 6 months of, of service or whatever it is, right? Or 4 months of service. You could easily charge that just for one single person. So you have to have confidence in it, right? But you also have to have a guarantee, right? The reason for a guarantee is to make the selling process easier, right? If you say, I'm going to guarantee you this amount of appointments, right, qualified appointments in this amount of time, or this amount of revenue in this amount of time, right, they're going to be like, oh, this makes sense, right? Because you have to figure out where they're at, where they want to go, how they're going to get there, and kind of what's the value that you're bringing to them? What are they going to get out of your service, right? They don't want to jump into a service and not see any return on investment, right? They want to see a return on investment. So you have to charge high, right? but also make sure it makes sense with a guarantee. And what I like to do is kind of two guarantees. So I like to guarantee them a certain amount of revenue, right? Or I like to guarantee a certain amount of appointments, right? Now, if you're doing a certain amount of appointments, you could guarantee revenue back. So you could be like, hey, if you don't make, over the $7.5 thousand you invested over 3 months, then I'll literally refund you everything, including the ad spend, plus pay you $1,000 if you don't get it, right? Now, if you have a lot of confidence in this, right? You have conviction, you have authority, it's going to work. It's going to work very, very well because that's like an unbeatable offer, right? And if you have a contract in place too, which you're probably going to want, you don't want to state that too, right? Now, you don't want to just pitch the guarantee. You want to use this as a tool or like a weapon of sales after objections and whatnot after telling them the price. Now, once you service your client, right, whatever that is, either Facebook ads or however you're, servicing your client for, your marketing agency, you want to get a testimonial from your client. The reason this is so important is because when you get testimonials, then you have proof of work, right? So now when you sign on clients, in your head, it's going to be a no-brainer because subconsciously, like, hey, like I know my service works. You're a lot more confident on the sales calls. And second, if they ask for client reference or testimonials, you got them, give that to them, and they're probably going to sell on if you have proof of work, right? Because they want to have confidence in you that you can actually do the job. And if you have that confidence and also the proof to show them, then you're going to close more than your 50% of your sales calls, right? As you're trying to scale and whatnot, right? Obviously, you want to be stacking bread and whatnot, and how you're going to scale is use these testimonials to your advantage, right? Make your own ads. You're a marketing agency. You know how to run your own ads, or you know how to run ads for your clients. Run them for yourself, right? Run ads for yourself and get clients that way. That way, it's an infinite scale, right? Let's say I put $3,000 into ads over the month, right? And I make 10 grand back, then that means I profited $7,000 off of only putting 3K in, and I didn't have to do anything. I just let the ads run, and then I just took the sales calls, right? So even at that, like you just scale it. So let's say I do, 6K in ads, then I'm gonna make 20 grand, right? And then you just made, 14K over 2 months without having to do any cold calling, any cold SMS, right? Now, also on the contrary to that, with your acquisition system, you want to have it automated, right? You don't want to be doing cold calls, cold SMS, whatever the acquisition system, cold email you're doing yourself. You want to do it with a setter, right? You want to have a setter.
Good afternoon, sir.
So have like 10 plus setters all working at the same time, and you don't have any upfront costs because you only pay them on commission. So when you close a deal, then you pay them. That way you're not losing out on a whole bunch of money without closing deals. You just have a whole bunch of sales calls going to you, 6 to 10 appointments a day on autopilot. You just take the sales calls, close, and then whatever appointment setter that was that set that appointment, you just, pay them out, right? And also the reason the return on investment with SMMA is actually so high is because, look, right, if I sell a client for 3K for 3 months, for instance, right, all I really have to pay for is their go high-level billing, which is like the software you basically use to set up the client, and then you have to pay for a domain for their funnel, and I think that's about it, right? So if you make, let's just say, for instance, 3,000, your cost per acquisition, because, you have to get this guy somehow with cold SMS, you're going to be profiting like 2,000, I'd say probably 2,600. So like that's pretty good profit margins, especially for a social media marketing agency, right? So, and with the system that I have, like it's actually completely insane. That's why I print 30K months at just 19, right? And so like, if you sign a 3K deal for 3 months and all you have to do is run ads for this client and the client is calling the leads themselves. So all you have to do is set up the ads, make sure the ads are working, check them, once every 2 days or once every day, right? For 3 months. That's going to be pretty easy, right? Like 3K for 3 months, I profit 2,600, 2,700, like profit margins are crazy, right? So yeah, that's essentially how everything kind of works, like with what I actually do, social media marketing agency, how that works, right? In my system a bit, right? I'm not going to go into crazy depth and whatnot, just because obviously I don't want to give away like all my systems just for completely free. So if you guys are actually down for mentorship, want to learn what I'm doing, actually do what I'm doing, print 30K a month at 19 from your laptop, literally travel the world whenever you want. Go to Cape Town, go to Dubai, go to Greece and just work from your computer. Literally be in paradise, work from your computer, and actually have a fulfilling life where you're not stuck down to a 9 to 5, have to work, kind of feel like shit, right? If you don't want to do that, then hit me up. I actually got you. You can hit me up on Insta at ZKemela, right? And just apply for some mentorship. Like, I got you. Me, Kiwa, Marco, some other big guys in the space that are doing way over 30K months. We're all running a mentorship program. And if you guys actually want to join this, then you can just get it below with the link, Fortune Consulting. Reach out to us either on school or you can reach out to us on IG. And then, yeah, we literally got you guys. We'll sign you up. It's pretty simple. And you guys are going to literally print 30K months within like just a couple months if you actually just put in the work. And that's no bullshit. So, yeah, if you guys want to learn what I'm actually doing right now, just hit that link. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. But as far as that goes, have a fantastic day. And make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you soon.